Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to be installing some lighting in my kitchen, both above and below my cabinets. And of course, it's going to work with HomeKit. I'm going to show you exactly how I installed mine, where I'm running the power cords, and even how you can cut your light strips to create gaps for things like, the microwave or maybe a window that you need to go around. And in the end, we're going to have some awesome lighting for the kitchen that works with HomeKit. Let's go. Yo, what's up guys? Thanks so much for joining me. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Shane, and on this channel, I'm building an easy smart home using HomeKit with new videos released every Sunday right here. Now today's video is sponsored by VOCOlinc, and we'll actually be using their LS2 light strips for today's installation. And if you've watched enough of my videos in the past, you'll know that I really do like the VOCOlinc products. They make a number of high quality, affordable HomeKit products, many of which I've been using in my personal HomeKit setup here for years. So big thanks to VOCOlinc for sponsoring today's video and for sending me out these light strips to use for today's installation. So I recently had a backsplash installed in my kitchen. It was sort of a gift to the wife for her birthday. Aww. And it looks great. We're very happy with it, but now I've just got to get some HomeKit lighting back there to really make it pop. And I must say, this is probably the first smart home project that my wife is actually excited about. Now, the tricky part in today's installation is going to be creating this gap underneath the microwave and completely hiding all the wiring. So what I'm actually going to do is cut the light strip and customize it so we can run a gap right there and continue the lights along the other side of the microwave. So to get this job done, I'm going to be using 2 of the VOCOlinc LS2 light strips and 1 extension. I'll also be using some inexpensive solderless connectors and extension wire to help us with that gap we need to create underneath the microwave. Now, I'll put everything we talk about today in the description below if you want to check that out. So let's head on down to the kitchen and get started. Okay, so here we are in my kitchen, and as you can see, we got my new backsplash back here. Let me get that so you can see. So up here, I'll actually be replacing an old LS1 VOCOlinc light strip with the newer LS2, just so it'll match the effects and everything. And this will be pretty easy. In this corner above the fridge, I actually have a little gap, so it's really easy to install. So I can actually run my power cord right down that gap and plug it in right behind my refrigerator. So that's going to be easy. We're going to be using 1 light strip down here, and we're going to use those solderless connectors in order to create that gap underneath the microwave. And to power this light strip, I'm actually going to be using a hidden outlet that's up here. And here we go. You can see I've already drilled my holes. I got my power cord running through here. All right, so stepping back here, you can see kind of how I have it powered. Just running that power strip all the way down here. And so here is my connection for my light strips, and we'll plug it in here, mount it underneath. We're gonna create that gap under the microwave and then extend the light strip all the way for the rest of the area there. Now what I'm probably gonna do also afterwards is just use some kind of HomeKit button and attach it up underneath one of the cabinets hidden away. I can do something like a single tap turns on and off the bottom light, and a double tap on that button turns on and off the upper light, and maybe a long press turns them both on. I'm probably going to do something like that just for a physical control of both of these light strips as well, which will be a nice little touch. All right, so with that said, I've done all my measurements. We're gonna go create the gap for that microwave right there with our solderless connections. Then we're gonna come back down here and get it all hooked up. Let's go. Okay, so this process we're doing here can be done essentially with any light strip. You just have to make sure you get the right accessories for the light strip you have. So because this is a 4-pin light strip that we're going to be modifying today, I got accessories that are 4-pin accessories. So for example, if we look here, this says 10-pack 4-pin LED connectors. So this is for a 4-pin light strip. It's actually easy to tell because if you look closely, you will actually see 4 pins right here. Another way to tell if it's not obvious on your light strip, so if we look right here closely, you can see there's 4 soldered points, so that means this is a 4-pin light strip. And I will put links to everything that I got down below. Essentially, I got 2 things. This all came in 1 pack, and then this I got separately. Okay, so this pack right here came with just some little attachments for the wall, which will be helpful in some places. It came with these, which are really great for going around corners, or if you need small little gaps, you can use this. We have just these basic connectors here that's used for connecting two light strips together. And then we have these little L shape. If you have a right corner or something like that, you need to go around, you can use these. Then it came with this long extension wire. This is actually what we're going to be using to span across our microwave there. Unfortunately, with this pack, it did not come with a great way to connect this to the light strip. These don't really work. These are really for going directly into the light strip and not the cable. So what I did is I actually picked up this pack right here. So these right here have two sides. The light strip will go into this side. This side actually has 4 little channels that this wire will feed into, okay, and we'll use this to connect the light strip to that extension wire, and then we'll do the same thing on the other end of that microwave. I'm gonna need to cut my light strip here, run that extension wire right here, all the way underneath my microwave, and then have the rest of the light strip here. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is cut our light strip like I said. All right, now again, I'm gonna be cutting right here along these connectors, so I just wanna try my best to cut really evenly right down the middle, nice and straight. Okay, there we go. That actually looks pretty good, nice clean cut there. All right, so I'm gonna use this again to connect the light strip to my extension cable right here. To do that, you're going to simply put this in here, and you're going to want to keep in mind where your positive and everything is so you can line those up. So I'm going to slip that in here. You want to make sure that's good and tight. If it's tough, use some pliers to clamp that down. Now we'll take our wire that we've measured out already, and I'm going to cut it that other end of that connector here, and again, remember where everything is so you can line them up. I know that that positive was along the top here, right here. There's an arrow you can even see, so that is going to be my black wire. So I'm going to feed these into these channels best I can all the way in here. And what's nice about these is that you don't have to do any stripping or anything of the wires. There is some little sharp edges in there that actually does that for you. And we're going to close this down, and these are pretty tough to close down, so you're going to probably want to use some pliers, clamp down on that really tight. Okay, and there we go. That is one connection. Now we just need to connect the other side and do the same thing over there. There you go, we have our light strip connected. Now what we can do is plug it in and make sure it works, make sure the colors change appropriately and that everything is connected right. Now I will say I don't like these connectors as much as these, and I'll explain why. These actually are a little tougher because there's no stripping and everything like that, so you very well may have to wiggle, you know, this around a little bit on either side just in order to get that connection just right. So you can do that once it's plugged in and once the colors should line up and match and everything. But just know that I did struggle with this quite a bit initially, but I just kept playing with it, try to get that connection right between the two sides, and once you get the connection for all the wires coming through, you should be good to go. Now that's all we're doing with these, but I did want to show you what to do in case you wanted to use some of these, or let's just say you have a small gap and you just want to use one of these. So this actually has these little connectors right here, so you're going to want to kind of prop these up, and I don't know if you can see that, there's a little channel actually right here that you'll need to slip the light strip under. So another thing to mention is you do want to get the right width, so you know, make sure you get the right width light strip, or we're gonna have to slide our light strip under there. But first, with a light strip like this, you have to actually remove the silicone top if you're using one of these connections. Again, if you're using one of those other ones, you do not want to do that. So to do this, I'm just going to use a razor and very gently kind of cut right here, get that little silicone cover off. What I actually like to do is once I have a nice little cut, you go in and I actually like to just try to peel it off with my fingernails so I don't damage the actual light strip. And there you go. So see, I got that silicone cover off right here. And once you have that done, you can just slip this. Again, make sure you're positive. GRB all lines up, green, red, blue. And this will just slide right under there. You might have to kind of force it a little bit. Slide under that lip. Then you can close this side. Use your pliers, close, and then you can do the same thing over here. Then you have your little gap. You can go around corners or whatever you need to do if you're using this kind of connection. Okay, and so there we go. I created my gap for my microwave, and again, I'm using this connector here. Now let's head back to the kitchen, and all I have to do is stick this thing up, plug it in, and I should be good to go. The bottom is installed. I'm gonna use some of these just little command strips, hooks to attach the wire underneath and hold it up and hope that that sticks and lasts over time. If not, I've got some screws that I can use also that came with one of those kits. All right, now let's change out those top lights. So for this one, we don't need to do anything special. We're just gonna use the standard LS2 VOCOlinc Lightstrip plus an extension. So got this extension so that we can expand across the entire cabinets up there. Okay, so there you go. You can see everything is looking great. Got it installed. We have that gap underneath the microwave just like I wanted. Now I set these up so that I can control them separately in HomeKit. So just tap on their tile to turn each one on and off. And I wanted to be able to control them separately, just, you know, for different kinds of scenes and stuff like that. So we can turn them on, change colors. I can add these to my automations. Now these lights do also support Alexa and Google Assistant. If that's more your cup of tea, you know, I won't judge you, but obviously we like using it in HomeKit. Speaking of HomeKit, one thing that really sets the VOCOlinc lights apart, in my opinion, is that they actually expose a custom light effect mode to HomeKit, allowing me to create cool effects in my HomeKit scenes and automations. Let me show you. So I have a scene right here called Kitchen Colors. I can tap that. And now we're gonna see our lights slowly transition and fade into different colors. Again, not something you can do with other lights that I've found within HomeKit. But I like this because now I can create custom automations and things. For example, I've got a code red alert scene that I set up. When I tap this, you'll see what happens. This would be great for an automation. You know, if an alarm is triggered, we can have this start flashing our lights. You can get creative and do a lot of stuff with this. Let's change this to candle. Let me change that bottom one there to the candle also. There you go. And now I don't know if you can see that, but we're kind of getting like a candlelight effect here going on. And you can change the intensity and everything of this. But again, really cool that you can kind of get these effects and use them in HomeKit. One of the reasons why I really like the VOCOlinc Lightstrips. Now these VOCOlinc Lightstrips, they work well, they're reliable in HomeKit, and they have some awesome lighting effects that you can use within HomeKit, which really sets these apart. And I've actually been informed that VOCOlinc is working on that adaptive lighting feature for their light strips. And hopefully that'll become available through a firmware update before the end of this year. So that would be even better, especially for something like this in the kitchen, to have that adaptive lighting that kind of changes throughout the day. And possibly the biggest selling point for them is that they're much more affordable than some of the other light strips out there available. So all in all, these are great light strips to consider if you're looking for something for your smart home. So there you go. That is my new cabinet lighting. The wife is happy. It works with HomeKit, so you know know I'm happy. Big thanks to VOCOlinc for sponsoring today's video. If you guys enjoyed this, please give it a big thumbs up. That does really help out the channel. Subscribe if you haven't and hit that bell icon so you get notified when we post new HomeKit videos every Sunday right here. And if you really want to support this channel even further, consider hitting that join button down below to become a channel member. Big shout out to all of our current channel members. You guys are awesome. Thank you all so much for joining me today, and until next time, we'll see y'all later.